Now, the National Safety Council has done a lot on this topic, and I'm going to share a couple of slides from a report that they put out. Some people are asking a lot more nowadays, what is impairment? Well, the National Safety Council defines it as the inability to function normally or safely from a change in behavior resulting from chemical substances, alcohol, opioids, cannabis, etc. Physical factors like fatigue, probably like sleep deprivation, right? If you've ever had a brand new baby in the house, everybody's losing sleep, right? Social factors like professional or other stressors, and then mental health well-being. These are all things that the National Safety Council identified as things that can affect somebody's ability to do their job safely and productively. They also shared some statistics from a survey that was conducted. 33% of employers recognize that impairment is impacting their organization in terms of safety, retention, productivity, safety, finances, and reputation. Now, that's interesting, 33%. I think it should be higher. Look at the very bottom one, the last bullet. However, an alarming 13% claimed that it was not an important consideration when determining fitness for duty impairment. So there are a lot of stats, and we can go through these and talk about them in more detail. You know, is impairment a justifiable reason to terminate someone's employment, or is it a threat to a company's reputation, et cetera? That's all there. But it's interesting that 33% of employers recognize that impairment is impacting lots of things in their organization, and another 13% don't think it's really a factor at all. So a lot more education, a lot more understanding is needed, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that going forward. A lot of it having to do with the legalization of marijuana. So we did ask this question in our 2022 employer survey. How many of you as employers have considered removing marijuana from your drug test panel? Marijuana has always been really sort of a cornerstone of drug testing, but with the legalization of marijuana, some employers have considered dropping it or have already dropped it from their drug test panel. As you see there to the left, the graphic on the left, 9% said yes, they've considered removing marijuana, and 69% said no. Another 21% still trying to figure it out. But what's interesting about that is to the right, when we ask the question, why are you considering removing marijuana from your drug test panel? The second one down, 25% said they're concerned about their exposure to legal liability and somebody suing them if they test for marijuana or if they act upon the results of a positive drug test for marijuana. And just below that, a small percentage, 5%, but it's still significant, claim that testing for marijuana is not actually permitted in their state. And I'll let Tay address that a little bit later when we go through the panel discussion. But again, a lot more education is needed when it comes to this whole issue of marijuana, its relationship to impairment in the workplace, and what employers can do about it. And the bottom line, which is always the bottom line when it comes to business, is that impairment can cost companies money. It can result in lawsuits, lost productivity, absenteeism, and sometimes unsafe behavior, which can result in accidents that cause harm or property damage, or even harm to somebody outside of a company. And all of that adds up. And so impairment is not only an important issue for employers to understand, but also to have some type of program in place to prevent impairment from causing these types of preventable accidents and other unsafe behavior.